to change the world is that took place. That what we have today is inevitable. Do not accept that you cannot transform anything. Look at the impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental changes that took place afterwards. So, if we want to change the world, we need to fight. If we want to change the world, we need to unite, we need to mobilize, we need to fight for a better future for all, and that means to fight those that want to keep things as they are because they serve their interests, but in a way that would put into jeopardy the perspective of the future of our planet and of the well-being of the people.
I feel so empowered by what you've just said about collaboration, coming together, fighting for the things that we believe in, and I think that's a beautiful message that you've left us with, and I really appreciate that.
That's what we have today is inevitable. Do not accept that you cannot transform anything. Look at the impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental changes that took place afterwards. So, if we want to change the world, we need to fight.
The person who is talking is Antonio Guterres. Antonio Guterres. He is the President of the United Nations, the Secretary General of the United Nations. Did you hear what he said? If we want to, let me take it back. I don't know how to talk. Again.
Do not accept that what we have today is inevitable.
He said, do not accept that what we have today is inevitable. Let me rewind it.
Do not accept that what we have today is inevitable. Do not accept that you cannot transform anything.
Do not accept that you cannot transform anything. Antonio Guterres is talking. He is the president, the Secretary General, overall chairman of the United Nations. He is telling you something. He is talking to Biafrans. This is us. This man is talking to us. And if you listen, you will see that the woman she's talking to, the interviewer, the journalist, is a black woman, an African woman. So Antonio Guterres is talking to us. Pay attention.
Look at the impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental changes that took place afterwards. So, if we want to...
Did you hear that? He said, look at the impact. Look at the impact these movements is having all over the world and the fundamental changes that follows it. You didn't say they don't know? You didn't say they don't know? They know. Listen to it once again.
Look at the impact that you...
Look at the impact. Very, very... This word, I never expected to have it from United Nations chairman, overall boss, Antonio Guterres. I never expected... I thought we were the only ones saying it. I never expected, if you hear this type of statement from United Nations, my brother, Kwechiri CK, opening Akubu 1 naira before May 2 naira. Sorry, God forbid for using that word. Opening Akinyebu 1 ejemma, tunye 2 ejemma, Kwechiri CK, based on the stupidity of Tajudi Abbas and the Senate. The United Nations now, so pay attention.
The impact that youth movements have had in the world with funding cannot transform anything. Look at the impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental changes that took place afterwards.
So you see that? Look at the impact that these movements are bringing all over the world and the fundamental changes that follows it. That word, Okuluben Bagam, no be everybody who is listening. Now let's continue.
So, if we want to change the world, we need to fight.
Did you hear that? He'll say it again. If we want to change the world, we need to fight. And I go back eba. Call on the Biafra Liberation Army aka. Obunu na-ege ntị kụbalo Biafra Liberation Army aka, kụbalo Maazị Simon Ekpa aka, kụbalo Maazị Nnamdi Kanu aka, kụba aka gị, kwụsịba aka gị ike. Antonio Guterres, the overall president of United Nations, ndị ikpe anwa, ndị ikpe na zoo, the people that will barely buy a zoo, say, if we want to be free, if we want to change the handwriting on the wall, if we want to change the narrative, if we want to change the world, we must fight. No be me talker. I've been talking, I've been saying it. Mazi Samanepa has been saying it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been saying it. Today, I'm very certain everybody's paying attention. Look at
the impact that youth movements have had in the world with fundamental changes that took place afterwards. So, if we want to change the world, we need to fight. If
I can play this 1 million times a day, only that word. If we want, even the other one, I was crazy about the other one. He said, look at the fundamental, changes that these movements are bringing to the world. I was crazy about that. But now look at this one. He said that if you want to change the world, you need to fight. I can play that very part 1 million times a day without getting tired, because he is telling me something. This man is talking to me. If we want to change the world, we must fight. If we want the zoo to leave us alone, we must fight. If we want Britain to leave us alone, we must fight. Did you hear that?
we want to change the world, we need to unite, we need to mobilize, we need to fight for a better future for all, and that means to fight those that want to keep things as they are.
This one has broken the camel's back. He cannot say it better than this again. He cannot say it better than this. Did you hear that? Did you just hear that? I don't believe you heard it. Did you hear that, my people? He can't say it better than this. Every single word he says is 100% directed to us and meaningful. Every word he says, very, very meaningful. Listen to that last one.
Fight. If we want to change the world, we need to unite, we need to mobilize, we need to fight for a better future for all.
We need to fight for a better future for now. Listen to this one now he's about to say. Pay attention to it.
That means to fight those that want to keep things as they are.
That means, what is this fight we are talking about? He is asking, what is this fight we are talking about? He said, that means to fight those who want to keep things the way they are. Those that want to keep the status quo, Tajuddin Abbas. Those that want to keep the status quo, Tinubu. Those that want to keep the status quo, Musa. Those that want to keep the status quo, Nesomwike. Those that want to keep status quo, Devomai. Those that want to keep the status quo, Labaja. Those that want to keep the status quo, military, zoo, Janjaweed, police, navy, all of them. He said that we need to fight those that want to keep things the way they are for their own personal interest, for their own political and personal interest. He's going to say it. Listen.
We need to fight for a better future for all, and that means to fight those that...
Do you see how specific he is? These people don't mince word. They don't mince word. Do you see how specific he is? He is telling us those that we need to fight. Those who want to keep things the way they are for their personal and political interest. Pay attention.
For all. And that means to fight those that want to keep things as they are because they serve their interests, but in a way that would put into jeopardy the perspective of the future of our planet.
All right, wonderful people. Welcome back to this wonderful channel where we'll bring you back-to-back updates and information. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first one to collect them. Let's go down to the news proper as it is hot. In case you want to support our channel sharply, you can do it with YouTube super thanks. All right, welcome back. Joy returns in Biafra land as senior advocate of Nigeria, advocate for the freedom of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. A lot of senior advocates have risen and they are advocating for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. According to the information, they have put a request and a demand to the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, requesting that Nnamdi Kanu's freedom will bring unity in Nigeria. But the question is to know if the president himself wants to unify the country, because releasing Nnamdi Kanu will bring unity and also help the Igbo to know that they are being cared about, and also that will end the issue of marginalization. Of course, you know that Kanu has been in the DSS detention since 2021, that he was extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria, and up to date, he is still there. Let's go down to the full detail of the information. President Tinubu has been urged to free the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in honor of deceased elder statesman like Chief Edwin Clark and Pa Ayo Adibanjo. A senior advocate of Nigeria's son, Mr. Chukwuma Mbachukwu Ume, made the plea in a letter he forwarded to President Tinubu. He urged that Kanu is a product of a collective misunderstanding of some inevitable truths and political axioms. He further noted that Chief Clark and Pa Adebanjo, as well as another late sacks like Chief Mbazurike Amaechi, Professor George Achulike Obiozo, Dr. Chukwuemeka Ezife, and Chief Engineer Emmanuel Iwayan, who spent their final years advocating for peace, unity, and national healing, requested Kanu's release. Their voices, though not silent, remain an enduring call for statesmanship and fairness. The learned Silk stated, adding, Kanu is fast becoming a prisoner of conscience. According to him, a sincere reflection on the antecedents and peculiar circumstances surrounding the IPOB's leader's emergence and his ordeals in the last 7 years clearly shows that the federal government of Nigeria needs to reassess its strategy over what he termed a national quagmire. Kanu is a product of a collective misunderstanding of some inevitable truth and political axiom, including that our federalism, considering the inherent different characters of the peoples of Nigeria, is meant to comprehensively foster the growth and prosperity of Nigeria's diverse peoples within a harmonious framework of constituent communities. It is not intended to serve as a mechanism for entrenching primordial homogeny by any particular group. That it is an irony and hypocritical to be deceptive, preaching the indivisibility of Nigeria, for a mindset that has a total disdain for anything healthy to be true federalism and nationhood of Nigeria, where every subgroup ought to have a safe and founded sense of belonging. To put it graphically, the indivisibility of Nigeria is not framed thought for ethnic homogeny, that the manifest selective preference for force and persecution over diplomacy and constructive dialogue in addressing critical national issues, such as the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, calls for urgent reconsideration. Sustainable nation building is best achieved through engagement, consensus, and adherence to the rule of law. Patriotism is never founded on brutal force. that it is a fundamental principle of the rule of law that a nation must uphold and enforce the pronouncement of its court and adhere to the rule and treaty obligation it has ratified. Any deviation from this standard undermines the integrity of the court and jeopardizes the nation's credibility in the Committee of Nations. He argued that, given the trajectory of Kano's trial, including his discharge by the Court of Appeal, all that is left is for the political state actors to exercise the needed political will. Your Excellency, great leaders are not defined by their ability to suppress opposition, but by their ability to unify, heal, and reconcile. The release of Mazen Nandekano would not be a sign of weakness, but a demonstration of political wisdom and statesmanship. It presents an opportunity to turn a new page in Nigeria's history that prioritizes peace, justice, and the collective well-being of all citizens. Ume San, who is a former Attorney General of Imo State, added, "All right, wonderful people, this is coming from Ume San, who is former Attorney General of Imo State, is appealing to the federal government and direct to the president that releasing Nnamdi Kanu is not a show of weakness, but a move to unify the nation at large." Sometimes I wonder what politicians are thinking. I think that our politicians need better advisors in order to be able to make headway. All right, it don't shell from be say as traditional marriage don't scatter amid 1 billion bride price for Mbise in Imo State. The family of a bride don't ask for 1 million in order to give out the hand of their daughter to marriage. They say for their in-law to take their daughter that the man will pay whooping 1 million naira. The Mbise ekele munu. Yeah. All right. I think as this thing is trending online, there has been a speculation and a thought about Mbise people and Imo State in general that making a marriage or getting someone you love there, my brother, that you have to be pokripo and kwechiri. But as it is, from the information dropping on my table, it looks as if this thing now wale joku. And they ask ndị Mbise ogulule ndị Mbise as una one collect 1 million naira. Yes, even though some people will say now 1 million naira is not that of a big money because a lot of things have changed. Even if you have 100,000 naira in Nigeria now, it's more like someone that has 10,000 naira. Because those days, yesterday, I and my brother, we went to buy car battery. And we find out that car battery is worth 95,000 naira 500. This is a car battery that on a normal those days you'll be able to purchase within I think the good ones. I think Korea battery is known to be the best battery. It was then around 25,000 naira or 20,000, and you might even be begging them for 18,000 so that they can free the battery for you. But as it is today, the battery now is 95,500. So that is to say that in Nigeria, if you have 100,000, what you have is like 20,000 or 15,000, because a lot of things has changed. The prices of things have skyrocketed, and I wonder where the nation is going to. So for the family of the bride demanding 1 million naira, it might not be too much of a money, but of course, the situation of the country that we find ourselves, it is heartbreaking because coming by that 1 million, working out 1 million now in the present day Nigeria, you must know what you are working. Is either you're a government worker or you're a one hard worker or you are doing one thing or another. That is how it is in Nigeria. Remember that the federal government promised the coppers, the youth corps, that their salary, their monthly alawi will be increased to 77,000 naira from 33,000 to 77,000. And this month, Kepu don leak say government was not able to keep their promise. So, Oseti go, Oseti, Oseti go, Oseti. That's a night Tinubu government yo akpalakpale. Ole ah. Nigeria na my country. Na wetin we dey say when we dey school. As it is now, we don't even know whether Nigeria na our country again because people like us, e dey be us make we find tickets, even if na Togo, or even if na Benin Republic, Chad, or even if na Kavanchan, or even if na wetin they call am Panya. One day, if you have card, if you have your passport, find your way, enter Panya, things might be better there. Because the way it is going in Nigeria now, Nigeria and their citizens' name is also Ekele Budu. Yeah.